Chomsky and Herman's The Political Economy of the Mass Media, Decoding Media Influence. Noam Chomsky and Edward S. Herman's groundbreaking work, The Political Economy of the Mass Media, first published in 1988, remains a seminal text in media studies and political philosophy. In this video, we delve into every aspect of Chomsky and Herman's The Political Economy of the Mass Media, elucidating its key concepts, insights, and enduring relevance. 1. The propaganda model, unveiling media influence. At the heart of Chomsky and Herman's analysis lies the propaganda model, a framework designed to elucidate how mass media operates within capitalist democracies. This model contends that media institutions, despite their claims of objectivity and independence, are profoundly influenced by structural and economic factors that shape their content and priorities. 2. 5 filters of media control, understanding the mechanisms. The authors outline 5 interrelated filters that affect media content. Ownership. Chomsky and Herman argue that media outlets are predominantly owned by large corporations with vested interests in maintaining the status quo. These conglomerates wield immense influence over editorial decisions and the content that reaches the public. Advertising revenue. Media outlets rely heavily on advertising revenue to sustain their operations. This financial dependence on advertisers can lead to self-censorship and a reluctance to publish content that might alienate advertisers or sponsors. Sourcing. Media organizations often rely on official sources such as government agencies and corporate press releases for their news stories. This reliance can lead to a narrow range of perspectives and a lack of critical investigation. Flack. The concept of flack refers to the negative responses, complaints, and pressures that media organizations may face when they publish content that challenges the interests of powerful elites. Fear of backlash can influence editorial decisions and discourage critical reporting. Anti-communism, anti-authoritarianism. Chomsky and Herman argue that media institutions often adopt an anti-communist and anti-authoritarian stance, reflecting the broader political and economic interests of the society they serve. This bias can limit the diversity of views presented to the public. 3. Manufacturing consent, the role of media in shaping public opinion. Manufacturing consent, a key concept in Chomsky and Herman's work, refers to the process through which media institutions contribute to the creation of public consent for policies and agendas that serve the interests of elites. By selectively framing news stories, prioritizing certain issues, and marginalizing dissenting voices, media outlets shape public perception and consent. 4. The limits of debate in the Overton window, framing public discourse. Chomsky and Herman's analysis highlights how media discourse can establish the limits of debate. Certain issues are framed as acceptable for discussion within the mainstream, while others are excluded or marginalized. This concept has relevance in understanding how political discourse is shaped and controlled in democratic societies, influencing what topics are considered legitimate for public consideration. 5. Case studies, applying the propaganda model. Throughout the political economy of the mass media, Chomsky and Herman provide case studies and examples that illustrate the propaganda model's operation. They examine how media coverage of specific events, such as the Vietnam War and U.S. foreign policy, conforms to the model's predictions. These case studies offer concrete evidence of the media's role in shaping public opinion and manufacturing consent. 6. Influence and impact, shaping media studies and critical analysis. Chomsky and Herman's work has had a profound influence on media studies, political communication, and critical analysis of media institutions. Their critique of media consolidation, corporate influence, and the framing of news stories continues to be cited and discussed by scholars and activists. The political economy of the mass media has spurred extensive research into media ownership, bias, and the dissemination of information in democratic societies. 7. Media literacy and critical thinking, empowering the public. One of the enduring legacies of Chomsky and Herman's work is its emphasis on media literacy and critical thinking. Manufacturing consent encourages individuals to question the sources of information, media ownership, and the framing of news stories. It underscores the importance of an informed and critical public in holding media institutions accountable. 8. Contemporary relevance, navigating the digital age. The issues raised in the political economy of the mass media remain highly relevant in the digital age. The book's analysis of media consolidation, corporate control, and the shaping of public opinion is particularly pertinent as new challenges, such as algorithmic bias and the spread of disinformation, reshape the media landscape. In conclusion, Noam Chomsky and Edward S. Herman's The Political Economy of the Mass Media is a seminal work that offers a critical analysis of the media's role in democratic societies. Their propaganda model provides a framework for understanding how media institutions can inadvertently serve the interests of powerful elites, influencing public perception and consent. Chomsky